that was when the ghost appeared.
Welcome back, Midnight Society. The summer of slime is marching on. It's time to dim the lights, throw some dust in the fire, and head back to the woods for another Midnight Monday. Today we're opening a vault on Season 1, Episode 5 of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
The Tale of the Hungry Hounds.
If you thought the Midnight Society usually brings their A-game, you're in for a serious wild ride today. This episode's an absolute roller coaster of terrible decisions, the most embarrassing ghost origin story in television history, and the climax says a complete, undeniable epic fail. We're breaking down every detail, roasting the absolute scrubs in the story, and dropping some serious trivia along the way. Peep this. The episode kicks off with Kristen taking her turn to tell a story at the campfire. But she doesn't just bring a prop.
Kristen. Sorry I'm late, guys. I had to pick up Elvis. Who's Elvis?
She brings her actual living, breathing hound dog named Elvis into the middle of the dark, creepy woods. Now, bringing a live animal to a sketchy, secret midnight fire hazard is absolutely a terrible idea, but Kristen leads the way. She feeds Elvis biscuits right there by the fire and starts telling her tale. Honestly, baller move by Kristen to get everybody immersed. But let's see if the story actually holds up. The story introduces us to Pam, a country girl living on a farm, and her cousin Amy, who is visiting from the city. And right here, I have a drop 100% true fun fact on you. Pam is played by Mia Krishner. If that name sounds familiar, it's because she went on to become an absolute legend in the early 2000s. She played Catherine Weiler in The Coolest Girl in School, in the 2001 comedy Another Teen Movie.
Why is it every time I tell a guy they can put it wherever they want, they always stick it in my ass?
And she starred in The L Word. Seeing her here as a young kid in a Nickelodeon horror show before she blew up in Hollywood. Get back to the story. Pam's mom is super strict and absolutely forbids Pam from riding horses.
Can't I just take some lessons?
No. And I wish you wouldn't bring the subject up again.
Why? Because 30 years ago, Pam's Aunt Dora died in a tragic riding accident. The mom is so traumatized that she acts like horses are literal serial killers. Since Pam can't ride horses, she and Amy are bored out of their minds. So what do you do when you're bored in a creepy farmhouse? You go rummaging through a dusty attic. They find a massive locked trunk, and because this is a horror show, they don't just leave it alone. They bust out a Ouija board. They ask the board how to open it, and the thing starts moving on its own. It spells out Letmeout, and then gives them the combination 149. They pop the lock and open the trunk. Inside, they find Aunt Dora's old red riding jacket. Now, this jacket has been sitting in a trunk for 30 years. Never been washed. It's completely nasty. But Pam takes it and puts it right on. The smell has to be tragic.
That smells like ass.
The second the jacket goes on, Pam is instantly possessed by the spirit of Aunt Dora. She completely changes. Her posture gets rigid. She starts acting hella arrogant. And she suddenly speaks in this posh, demanding accent.
You stuck-up precious little bitch!
Possessed Pam opens a door in the house, but when they step outside, they aren't on the farm anymore. They step right into a magical, foggy 1960s netherworld graveyard. And this is where we meet the ghost of Giles. Guys, I had to stop right here and completely roast this man. Giles was the old groundskeeper for the family. In the story, we found out Aunt Dora went out riding, freed a fox that was meant to be hunted, and ended up dying in a riding accident. Because she died, she completely forgot to feed the hunting hounds. So Giles, the groundskeeper, goes to the pens later that day. He sees the hounds, they're starving, they're barking. They're looking at him because they're hungry. And what does Giles do? Does he feed them? Does he run away? No. Giles is so terrified of these hungry dogs, he literally suffers a massive heart attack and dies right there on the spot.
We dance.
He gets scared to death by his own dogs. What an absolute scrub. This is the weakest, most embarrassing ghost origin story of all time. Giles is not tight. Giles is a total joke. Giles' ghost lunges at them, blaming Dora for his pathetic death. Possessed Pam and Amy run away and end up locked inside a barn. Inside the barn, possessed Pam can hear the ghostly howls howling outside. She tells Amy she has to go out there and feed them to put the spirits to rest.
I have to feed the hounds. Don't get strange on me again, please.
Amy is bugging out. Wait, no, Amy's completely losing her mind because she assumes Pam means she's going to feed Amy to the dogs. It turns out Pam just wants to feed them kibble. Amy tells Pam to chillax, locks her safely inside a horse stall and runs off to feed a bag of food to the dogs. But Pam doesn't chillax. She escapes the stall and throws open the barn doors, letting the hungry ghost hounds inside.
You're gonna die, bitch.
The hounds immediately rush Amy. Amy scrambles up to the top of some hay bales. She's trapped. Dogs are snarling, snapping their jaws, getting ready to tear her apart. This is it, the ultimate climax. How is Amy going to survive? Does she fight them off? Does she break the curse? No, she does absolutely nothing. Right before the dogs attack her, a random, ghostly, ratty-looking fox just magically appears and runs through the barn. The dogs look at the fox, completely forget about Amy, and just bounce. They chase the fox out into the woods. Aunt Dora's ghost hops on her phantom horse and rides out of there. And that's it. The conflict just ends. The fox literally did all the work.
Mon petit rouge. Mon petit rouge. Mon petit rouge. Mon petit
Motherfucking.
rouge.
It was an absolute epic fail of a climax. Amy runs out of the barn, scrambles back through the magic doorway, and bursts back into the attic. Suddenly, the fog's gone. It's broad daylight. Pam is sitting there on the floor holding the jacket. Completely fine. In fact, Pam just starts sneezing and says her dust allergies are acting up. She doesn't even remember being possessed.
How do you explain Pee-wee Herman?
We cut back to the campfire, and Kristen wraps it up by telling the Midnight Society that Aunt Dora's spirit is finally at peace
Because her mom was no longer haunted by her sister Dora.
because the hounds aren't howling anymore. And Pam's mom randomly decides to let Pam take riding lessons. Happy ending. Are you kidding me? Like a ghost fox just shows up and solves the entire plot. For Mia Kirshner's baller acting debut, this absolute embarrassment is the groundskeeper in a climax that completely fizzles out. I'm giving season 1, episode 5 a very generous 6 ghost foxes out of 10. Okay, if you enjoyed that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and let me know in the comments. If you were Giles, would you have fed the dogs? Or would you just immediately died of a heart attack like an absolute douchebag? Put out the fire, guys, because tomorrow we're heading back to Tattoo Tuesday. We'll see you then.